Shutdowns began last year. Thousands of companies and millions of employees switched to a work-from-home setting. Now, as we near the end of the pandemic, almost a year and a half later, business owners and experts are wondering if this is the way of the future. Tonight, Harry Croton is digging deeper into the work-from-home debate.
Come here.
Patty Yost didn't bring her cat to work today. She brought her work to her cat. She works remotely as an interior designer in Peoria, helping clients choose their dream home from the comfort of her own.
I love it. I love staying busy, and I love having the opportunity to sit down and work from home and just throw my elbows up and get stuff done.
Patty wasn't always a remote worker, though. Like many others, her employer, Murray Custom Cabinetry, had to make some changes when shutdowns began.
You know, we had come out of a kind of slower part of the year anyway and had even a shop fire the month before the pandemic hit. And it's like, how do you continue to operate without having a designer to sit here in front of a client?
Owner Tom Murray says the move wasn't easy, but over time, Patty found her groove. She not only performed up to previous standards, but she excelled.
We found that her being off-site, she's able to focus in on our logistical processes way more. You know, following through with designs, following through with vendors, getting designs in record time sent from us to our clients.
Now, Murray says the remote setup is here to stay, and hundreds of small businesses are doing the same thing. A 2020 study by tech group Growmotely found more than 60% of people surveyed prefer the home office. 97% would prefer at least a hybrid situation, and nearly 75% expect remote work to become the standard. Bradley economics professor Colin Corbett says for most businesses, the future of remote work depends on the company culture.
Pre-pandemic, nobody realized that this was coming, so they didn't really think to track this very well. And so I think that a lot of employers are going to try to pay more attention to this going forward.
Today's employers have a lot to consider when deciding if remote work should continue, like if there's a difference in worker productivity. Corbett says certain situations, like Patty's for example, do work, but others might not.
But typically I'm in pajamas and I don't wear shoes. Like, I don't even have flip-flops on because I'm in my house and I don't have to. If my dog needs to use the bathroom, I can get up and let her out.
But what about people eager to get back to their pod? Mark Siegel is a labor and employment lawyer based in Chicago. He says for some, stepping back into the office might be harder than they think.
And so the real question is, can employers require a vaccination? And the answer is yes. Employers can not only require a vaccination, but they can require a proof of vaccination.
A recent Marist poll found a quarter of Americans say they won't get a vaccine. Siegel says some businesses might need to be creative to accommodate everyone.
Can they get a COVID test? Is that going to be sufficient? Can they do temperature checks? Can they ensure masks? What it can be done in a flexible manner so that everyone can be working together.
Experts say businesses will have to find the answers to those questions before they return to normal. But for his cabinetry company, Murray says he intends to stick with this trend.
I think that the idea of us in 5-10 years not still having some kind of remote capabilities would seem a little bit ridiculous to me based off of the ground that we've gained.
To think about living that kind of life that I've always wanted to live while still being employed full-time with a successful career is awesome.
Reporting in Peoria, Harry Croton, 25 News.
Interesting right there.
And we've both done it, certainly.
Yeah, right? It's hard kind of to get back, so I can imagine just all those months of being home and then going back to work.
You bet.
Well, coming up next on 25 News.